Howdy, howdy, howdy. How are you doing, guys? Welcome to another Monday evening. And this time, unlike last week, we're able to start at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, regular time. I'm so happy to see you guys again. Now, bear with me. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit raspy at this point in time. It's been a long week. I talked to a whole heck of people this week, including a whole lot of them at Hearts of Reality. We'll talk all about that. And I got to talk to so many reality TV fans and other reality TV contestants, participants. So much fun. But somewhere along the way, I lost my voice. And then my voice turned into some kind of raspy cold or something. So I'm still fighting, trying to get it all back. So again, bear with me. And it is not your speakers. It's old Boss Hog's voice here. But you know what? When your voice is like this, I think it's usually because it means you did something fun, whether it's going to a concert and singing and yelling, going to a football game and yelling your lungs off, or just going and meeting a whole lot of incredibly friendly people. I am always amazed when I go to these events how friendly I guess everyone is, both fans and the other celebrity people. I guess the old Grinches just stay home. We don't have to deal with them, right? All right. So before we go any further, it wouldn't be Cliff Notes Live without a big old SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love all the reality TV fans out there, but especially love y'all guys who come out here and spend every Monday evening with me. And those of you who watch it a little bit later, not live, but fortunately we have a replay out there on YouTube, so you always get a chance for that. I don't know if I've said it for a while, but just as a reminder, if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, please go out there and do so. And you can turn on your notifications so that way whenever this show starts or any other videos, recaps, things like that I post show up, you get notifications and you hit the thumbs up as well. My favorite sign. So with that being said, sorry guys, we'll see how this goes. I wanted to go out and see who all's out there. Just a quick shout out before we start talking about all the different stuff they have. God, it was such a busy week. I came prepared. Oh, all right. First of all, Brian Hostetler. Brian, all right. I'm gonna hold off the story about Brian, but Brian, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk a little bit about Brian here in just a second. But howdy, Brian. Welcome aboard. Ma is angry as well. Welcome to you, Ma. Jake, the horror movie geek. All my friends are out here yet again. Another Monday evening. All right. Just as I start talking, we'll make it work. Mark Taylor out here as well. Hey, Mark, how are you doing? Marilyn Sutherland. Zachary Weiss. All right, another person we're going to talk a little bit about. Zachary, I'm so happy to see you this week. That was a lot of fun. Chaz is out here, and I already saw your question about Survivor. If I don't answer it, ask me again in a second, but I'll try to. Kiki's out here. Hey, Kiki. Maureen Carroll. Florida was fantastic. Andy W. A little warmer than 17 here in Houston. And Amanda Lowe. Hey, Amanda, how are you doing? Let's see. Is that who we've got? Michelle Moore as well, and Fred Benson. Hi, 143. We're 143 right back at you, Fred. No, it was a lot of fun this week. Thank y'all for sharing it with me. I hated. First of all, now for those of you who may not know, last week I had to fly to Ohio, business meetings. Flew into Columbus, went over to Marietta, which I guess is kind of over in the corner, right across the river. I think it's the Ohio River, from Parkersburg, West Virginia. Stayed there for a few days. As some of you may know, I had a business dinner Monday night, and I had to run from that business dinner back to the hotel to do the show. We're a little bit late getting started, so thank y'all for bearing with me. And thank y'all for all the warnings I noticed on the chats when I went back and looked at them. Say, hey, the door behind you is moving. Watch out for the ghost and all of that. Yeah, I was staying in a haunted hotel. I think I was so tired. How would you like to be a ghost that you can't even wake someone up? I feel like maybe there's some ghost in my room trying to wake me up, and they're like, yeah, this guy, he's not worth it. He's sleeping too sound, because they didn't bother me one bit at all. But it was still kind of a fun hotel to stay in. It's always fun when it's a little bit creepy, right? I was trying to prank some. I should have gone down the hallway rattling chains or something just to get everyone else's attention, but I just didn't have time for it. But anyway, I did that last Monday evening. Did my biddings. All right, now here's something that I got to tell y'all, which was a little irritating. I did the show with y'all. I was in such a hurry to get back to my room. As soon as I got in the room, I took my coat off. I dropped it on the floor, got everything ready to go. after I got done with the show, my phone went off, my work phone. I've got two phones, my work phone, my home phone or personal phone. My work phone went off. I got it out of my pocket and realized that I couldn't see the screen. Yeah, I was in such a hurry. At some point while I was trying to get back for the show, I managed to crack the screen on my work phone, which made it a little bit tough for the next couple of days. Now the good thing is it was time for an upgrade anyway, so I'll be all right. But yeah, that's the first time I've ever had a cell phone that broke on me where I had to replace it. So yeah, I guess hey, better then than at Hearts of Reality when I was using my phone to take so many pictures. But yeah, that was interesting. But Monday we did that. Can I also say this before we move on past Ohio? There are a lot of interesting organizations up in Ohio. We were doing a lot of our business meetings in the Moose Lodge of Marietta. And right next to the Moose Lodge is the Association of Odd Fellows. I feel like I could be a moose, but I'm probably more of an odd fellow than anything else. So, but these organizations, these fraternal societies, I guess, are right next to each other. I guess there's a lot of that up in Ohio and that part of the United States. Those of y'all who are from that area, let me know, because I really wasn't that aware of them down here in Texas. And we've got some. We've got like the Masonic lodges, the Shriners, and some things like that. But I didn't think the Moose Lodge, Moose Lodge, and certainly Oddfellows. It's just not something I've really had much experience with, but it's kind of fun reading about them after I got done. Anyway, y'all don't care about that. Well, let's talk about Florida. I went back to Columbus to go back home, and that's where Mark Osterl comes in. Mark is, correct me, Mark, you're what, pretty close to the Columbus airport. I had about a 3-hour layover. And so before going through security and all that, Mark and I hooked up at a bar at the airport and sat there and talked for, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours or so. Mark has been incredibly supportive. He donated to to the Hearts of Reality, has been such a good friend out here on the channel and everything else. And it was just so much fun to spend 2 hours talking about everything. I mean, certainly talked a little Ohio State football, given he's a big fan of that, but talked a lot about Big Brother, my experience in there, casting, just general stuff, inside scoop here and there, and hearing what he would tell you. If Brian ever makes that Big Brother, he may dominate. He's got some ideas and one or two things that he would have done. Talking about my season, all that. I gotta say, if you make it on there, when you make it on there, we are going to, this channel, be your biggest fans, man. We're going to be pushing you, promoting you. You'll have America's favorite before you even step foot in the house, I do believe. It's so much fun talking to Brian there for a couple hours. I'm glad I didn't miss my flight. When I start talking Big Brother, I can go away. So I had to watch the camera or the watch, but eventually got on the plane, got home about 2:00 or so in the morning, then turned right around, went back to the airport at 8:00 in the morning to fly to Orlando for the Hearts of Reality. So yeah, it was a quick turnaround. Bear with me. It's probably good I don't have a microphone right here on my chest anymore like I did while I was in the Big Brother house. I'd be a lot more irritating with some of these coughs, right? I just said Mark Hostetler. Saying, let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the comments. I'm just gonna let me look at this. Mark saying, all right, let's talk about that. How was your trip to Orlando? Who did you talk to that you never thought you would? Well, the trip to Orlando was incredible. I obviously did a lot of talking. I feel like I talked to just almost everyone that was there. So who did I talk to? I'll talk about a couple of who was I really excited to talk to. Some of it was the Big Brother 24 players that just finished up their season. Obviously, I wanted to welcome them to the Big Brother family, talk about everything that happened. The problem is they're so popular and everyone wants to talk to the newest season of Big Brother. So it's a little hard sometimes because they were always swarmed with fans and of course a lot of us other reality folks as well. But I wanted to make sure they had time to talk to the fans and all that. But I did get to talk to most of them. All of them so nice. I spent a lot of time, or not a lot of time, but I talked to Joseph and I talked to Indy. I talked to Indy right after Brazil's game against Croatia for the in the World Cup, and unfortunately, Brazil did not win. So Indy was drowning out her tears, with a few drinks at the bar, and I was right there with her. So we talked a little bit about football and Big Brother and cheering her on in Big Brother Brazil, which I'm sure she'll do at some point in time. So that was pretty cool. Now, from a personal standpoint, a couple of the people that I talked to that I was really happy to do. One of them, Tina Wesson from Survivor Season 2. Oh my gosh, I don't think there was anyone from Season 1 there, but there were several people from Season 2 there. Tina, Jerry was there as well. God, it seems like so long ago, those first seasons. We were big Colby fans here in this house, being from Texas and all that. But Tina was in an alliance with Colby, so certainly she was one of my early favorites that I was cheering for. So Tina was there, so incredibly nice, so much fun to talk to. Jerry as well, and then also Boston Rob was there. He was swamped people. All people wanted to talk to Boston Rob, but he was nice as well. So talking to all of them was pretty cool. I talked to, for those of you who watch the challenge, I talked to and had a little fun playing with Johnny Bananas. Yeah, Johnny, he was a lot of fun. As many times as he's played the challenge, as popular as he is, he's one of those I thought, well, he could be a little aloof perhaps. You know, he's going to be so swamped with people. He may just be in there doing his thing, then getting out of there. Nah, he's the friendliest guy in the world. We did a little boomerang bit with my cowboy hat that y'all may have seen posted on my storyline or his story on Instagram. He was a great guy. It's so cool talking to kind of certainly the king of the challenge, right? So talk to him. Who else? People I didn't maybe get a chance to talk to that I wished I had. There were a couple of them just because they were so busy. One of them was Jasmine from this last season of Big Brother. I wanted to talk to her so bad, but every time I looked over there, she had just a line of people wanting to chat with her and all of that. So never got a chance. Maybe I should have brought some muffins. I could wave around a bag of muffins. Maybe I could have got her attention, but she looked great. I just didn't have a chance to talk to her. But there'll be more events on down the road. All right, Zachary Wise. All right, Zach. And I got to talk to Zach. Yeah, it was great seeing this weekend and seeing you interact with everyone. We had so much fun. We had so many parties going on. One of them was a, what was it? Pirate superhero theme party, or no, it was a Decades party. We had a Decades party, and Zach was there dressed as MC Hammer. Looking good, my friend. It was great. We did it. We did that for the party, and Zach did a little karaoke as well. But Zach is one of those. It was so much fun just getting to hang with you, Zach, and talk a little stories and just find a little bit more about you. And I just, every time I turn around, there'd be someone else to talk to. And but yeah, we had a blast, Zach. I just enjoyed it so much. So glad that you were there. Frankie Palomero saying, I met you this weekend. Nice to meet you. All right, Frankie, thank you as well. Here's what's really cool. Zach, Frankie, Rob, I don't know if you're out there as well, but Rob is someone else I talked to that is a Cliff Notes Live viewer, watcher. I guess watcher. I've got video up here, right? How cool is it that I talked to y'all? Did y'all talk to me? We go back and forth. And then we finally had the chance to actually meet and just learn a little bit about each other and do something. As much as I love talking on here, I know sometimes it's hard keeping up with all the comments and answering everything in the detail that sometimes it needs to be answered. We did in Orlando. We got to spend a lot of time talking about some of it's Big Brother stuff, some of it just random, what's life like and everything else. I loved every bit of it. So Frankie, Zach, Rob, man, y'all, here's the thing that y'all may not understand, because there are a lot of people come up saying, oh my gosh, Cliff, we loved you on Big Brother. And I'm doing the same thing with everyone else out there. Some of these other reality TV people, I'm just fanboying everywhere I go. But when I did Big Brother, I really thought, I'm in my 50s. I'm going to do the show. Once I finish up with the show, I'll just go back, do my job. Yeah, maybe once in a while I'll post something on social media after my kids teach me how to do it. I didn't even know I have social media beforehand, but I really didn't think it's going to be anything except do the show and then go back to regular life. But because of guys like y'all, I get to do this every week and continue to stay involved in reality TV, talk about my experiences, other people's experiences. And then at the end of the day, I was on that show for 3 months. but for 20 years, I've been a reality TV fan. The time I was on the show, very, very small compared to my overall fan length or whatever. You all know what I mean. So just icing on the cake that I've been able to stay involved with so much ever since I did that show. It's been 3.5 years since I was on there. It doesn't seem that long, but it's funny. You do these shows or these events like the Hearts of Reality, and every season there are new people who show up. The newest season of Big Brother. We had a couple of seasons of Survivor that were able to show up, and I met most of them. Oh my gosh, some incredible people from season 41 and 42 were there. So yeah, and we'll talk about some of them in a second. REM said, did you talk to any Amazing Race peeps? Yeah. One of them I spent a lot of time talking to was Joey Cavino. And Joey's not, he was in the season where they took strangers and had them playing together. Remember, there's Team Fun and Joey. I can't remember who Joey's with, but I spent a lot of time talking to Joey. James from a couple of seasons, I guess now, was there. Talked to him a little bit. I feel so bad saying this. I was doing a phrasing like this, but I just can't remember their names. The blonde team that won. I think they won. I'm pretty sure they won from a few seasons back. They were there. I talked to them for just a little bit. They raised like $50,000 for Hearts of Reality. I think they were the top fundraisers of everyone there. They did incredible. Yeah, so I talked to some of the Amazing Race people. Now, Derek and Claire were not there, unfortunately, because I would have loved to talk to them, but they weren't there. But that was fun. And Chaz is saying, how happy were you for Derek and Claire? For those of you who don't want spoilers, it's been a few weeks. I think it's okay. But if you don't know who won Amazing Race, cover your ears for just a second. But Derek and Claire won Amazing Race, and they represented Big Brother perfectly. They did great. It was, as Andy W. saying, it was a fantastic season of Big Brother. Joey and I talked about this a little bit. He asked me what I thought about the current season, and I said the things I did not like. We'll start with the negatives. The things I didn't like was the fact that you no longer book your plane tickets from spot to spot. Everything is booked for you. I hate that, but in this day of COVID and extra security and everything else, it's just the way of the world. It's not that Amazing Race wants to do it. They don't have any choice. In the old days, you could say, well, I'm going to take this plane direct, or we can take this plane that goes way over there. That'll get there earlier, but it only has a 15-minute layover. If we miss it, we're in trouble. I enjoyed that a lot more. But again, in this day and age, you just can't do that. And Joey was saying basically the same thing. The other thing about this season was it was kind of confined to North Africa, the Middle East a little bit, and Europe, as I recall. They didn't really travel around the world as much as you have for some seasons. But again, I'm just happy with all of the COVID effects that everyone had. I'm just happy the Amazing Race is still here. It would have been easy for them to shut down for a few more years until everything is completely open. It's not like people are planning to travel to China right now with everything still going all right. Sorry, every time I do that, I feel bad. But yeah, the season was fantastic. Every team on that season, I really like. Now, there's one or two times where you get frustrated with the team. There were one or two times where I thought people really were giving up too easily, and I just wanted to see them fight. But I really like the teams. I like the challenges that they had, building those motorcycles and yodeling and all that. There were some hard ones in there. And that's what I want from the Amazing Race. There were no episodes that were safe where no one went home, so it was very fast paced. And Derek and Claire won. I talked to Hannah Chata after the meet and greet at one point, and I asked her. I said, "So I'm assuming y'all all were cheering for them." She was overjoyed. She was talking about how it just brought her to tears when they won. How excited she was for the two of them. And I love it, because here's the thing. I have people all the time saying, "Oh, are you friends with so-and-so in your season of Big Brother? Or do you hate each other because that person burned you?" Where no, I think even right after the season, sometimes you've got some hurt feelings, and some people may not be as talkative with other people because of that. But for the most part, not 100%, but for the most part, given a little time away from the shows that you're on, it's a shared experience, and we all bond together because of that. And not just individual seasons of Big Brother. I have a lot of the same experiences of people from other seasons. They know what I'm talking about, and vice versa when we talk about this. And that's what's so cool about events like this, where we can talk to other fans of reality TV and share those experiences. And y'all get it as well when we get the chance to kind of flesh it out and talk about it. Uh, but yeah, Hannah was Chada was so excited cheering for her counterparts, just like me on the challenge, cheering for David Alexander, cheering for Tommy and Sis, and the challenge that's going on right now. It's family. Yeah, you support each other. And as soon as I mentioned Derek and Claire, Chada's face just her smile lit up. So yeah, it was so cool. Speaking about Big Brother family, who was there for my particular season? All right, first of all, Ma saying, give me a shout out at least once, please. Well, of course, Ma, you're a huge part of this show. It wouldn't be the same without you. So yeah, come on, we're not gonna forget about you, even when you come in late for brand practice or what. We're sitting here waiting for you every single time. So big shout out to Ma. And Ma, I met Brian. We talked for a lot. Somewhere down the road. If I don't see you on one of these reality shows, I have to do a little talking as well. But yeah, shout out to Ma. Now the question: did you talk to Nicole? Well, yeah, of course I did. But I should introduce that as well by talking about who from my season was at Hearts of Reality. We didn't have as many as last season, which, fair enough. Sometimes people can make it, sometimes they can't. This season, from my season of Big Brother, it's myself, Nicole, David Alexander, and then Sam came over for a little while Saturday night. He wasn't at the whole thing, but he came over for a little while. He lives in Orlando. So he and his wife, Melissa, came over and just hung out. It'd been so long since I talked to him. It's fantastic getting back up to speed and all that. Hey, Sam and I sat there and shared some twisted teas. He brought some over because he talked about so much during my season of Big Brother, and I'd never tried one. So he brought some over for me to try. Pretty good. They weren't bad at all. But we did that. It was fun because when I got to the airport, they've got volunteers who come and pick us up to help us get there. And they told me, they said, all right, we've got one other person we've got to pick up besides yourself, Cliff. Yeah, that's fine. No problem. It turns out it was David Alexander. Yeah, well, who would have thunk it? So David showed up, and I snuck up behind him and surprised him a little bit. And so David and I spent a lot of time driving over to this event, just rehashing what we've been up to. David's always so busy. He did the challenge down in Australia, so he's done little reality shows ever since the last time I saw him. But just life in general. So I got to spend a lot of time with David, and then I walk into the hotel itself. And of course, the first person I run into is Nicole and her fiance Brian. And just like last year when we did this, we actually had a hotel room together. It's like a two-bedroom family suite type deal. So Nicole and her fiance were on one side, I was on the other side. It was kind of a shared kitchen in between everything else. So yeah, we got to hang the whole time and spend a lot of time just chatting and getting up to speed. And I got to hear all about their engagement, their wedding planning. All about everything that went into their costumes. You're talking about dressing up and spending some attention on their costumes. So, yeah, I got to hang with all of my Big Brother 21 family that was there, and it's nice. It's like seeing family on the holidays, a little bit of a reunion. So that was fantastic. And then we went out and met brand new people every afternoon and evening as well, which was incredibly fun. Also, all right. Mark saying, what's David Alexander doing now? He's working, well, first of all, on Instagram, he does some inspirational stuff in the morning and all of that, but he's doing marketing for, I think, energy drinks, along those lines, sales type stuff, representations, cool stuff. All right, was Julie Chen there? No, Julie wasn't there. Who had posted out there? Someone had posted, Julie or Jeff, one or the other, or someone had posted, I think Hearts of Reality maybe had posted something about them being there. Someone posted it earlier this year, and it was just like an April's Fool's type deal. It got my attention. I was like, oh man, because I talked to Julie after I got evicted, and then at the finale and everything else. But yeah, she's got so many people demanding her time. I really didn't have a chance to sit down and have a long discussion with her, but yeah, I'd love to sit down and ask her. So she maybe wouldn't tell me. If I said, like, who's your favorite player of all time, or who was the biggest boneheaded player of all time, I'd love to get some of her opinions. Again, I have a feeling she'd be a little protective of everyone that's been on that show, but I'd love to spend a little time talking, but no, Julie was not there. Jeff Probst was not there. TJ Lavin was not there, but there were a whole lot of people who've done those shows that were, and that was the cool part. All right, Vicky Stone saying, your shirt looks like confetti. All right, let's talk about this shirt and talk about this background. I feel like I buried the lead in some ways. So when we do Hearts of Reality, well, there's two things. First of all, on this day in 1977, I should have started with this. I'm just so excited to talk to you guys. On this day in 1977, the premiere of the movie of the 1970s, Saturday Night Fever. Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno. Yeah. Saturday Night Fever premiered. It was the #1 show. Everyone wanted to dress like John Travolta, dance like John Travolta. Most people were woefully not even close to doing it. But everywhere you had the disco floor showing up. Disco was around before John Travolta, but he's the one that just blew it up when this movie came out. Now, I was only 12 years old at the time, so it's not like I'm going to Studio 54 and hanging out with the peeps and all of that. But I still watch it. The first 2 albums. Here's a little information from the history books here, or the archives, I guess. The first 2 albums that I ever purchased as a kid, and these weren't DVDs, these weren't cassette tapes, these certainly weren't MP3s. Now, these were vinyl albums. First 2 I ever bought was Saturday Night Fever and Kiss Love Gun. Yeah, those were the first 2. They both came out in 77, and I guess I had birthday money to spend, and so I spent a lot of time in my room practicing my own disco moves and singing at the top of my lungs, along with Kiss as well. So Saturday Night Fever came out. Now, I went to see Saturday Night Fever with my parents, and if my mom's out there, she's probably cringing that I'm even mentioning that. My brother and I, we weren't allowed to go see rated R movies. I remember when The Exorcist came out, we thought that would be a perfect rated R movie that we should get an opportunity to go see. And my parents said, yeah, no, you're not going to go see The Exorcist. There wasn't a chance in heck. But we did go see a movie rated R called The End with Burt Reynolds. I'm sure you've never heard of it. It wasn't one of his biggest hits, but it was rated R. And it really didn't need to be rated. It was a nice, friendly, nice film. I still remember it. My brother and I were so excited that we're in here watching a rated R movie. But after that movie was over, it was a double feature type deal where they actually 2 for the price of 1 admission. And whatever movie we were supposed to go see, I don't remember if it was crowded. There's something going on. And we ended up not going in there. Instead, my parents said, well, this Saturday Night Fever everyone's talking about, well, we'll go watch that instead. So we walked in to watch Saturday Night Fever. And about 10 minutes later, we walked back out of Saturday Night Fever. There was a lot of language that John Travolta and others in that movie used. And so some graphical scenery that my parents decided was probably not appropriate for my brother and I. And so as a 12-year-old, having to make the walk out of a theater because it's too graphic for you, and you're walking out with your parents, was just the cringiest walk ever. Glad it was dark in there because I felt horrible that we couldn't stay. And we begged and pleaded, please, we'll cover our ears. They said, yeah, no, we're not staying. So I didn't get to watch Saturday Night Fever when it came out. Probably quite a few years later on HBO or something before we finally watched it. But I love the movie. I absolutely love the music. I'm a huge fan of the Bee Gees. So it's perfect. And Kiki saying, I did the hustle. I did a little bit of a bus stop too. Yeah, I did all of it. That was a different, for those of you who weren't around then, disco was just a little bit different. People didn't really, everyone's free about everything. Everyone's out there just jumping around. There wasn't, I guess there's a little bit of official moves and everything and line dancing and things like that, but flashy everything is incredible. So this shirt is kind of in honor of that. But the other thing, in addition to the release, at Hearts of Reality, we had different parties. The first night we were there, Thursday night, was a People Magazine VIP party where we just showed up. They had little gimme bags, grab bags that had a few things, but mainly it was a chance to visit with each other and a lot of guests that had packages as well. So we did that. But then Friday night was let me think about it. Friday night we had a party. Then Friday. I think this thing through. Friday night we had a pirates and superheroes party over at Give Kids the World of Village. Incredible. Last year, because of COVID, the village wasn't open yet. This year it was. So we got to go there dressed up, and there were kids everywhere, kids and their families that are there, Make-A-Wish kids that are there seeing all the theme parks. And this is kind of their home base while they're doing that. They were all out around the swimming pool. We had all kinds of events set up. I dressed as a pirate, as did Nicole and Brian, her fiance. We were dressed as pirates. As soon as we got there, some people came and said, "You're part of the scavenger hunt that these kids are doing. They have to find a pirate and get the pirate to teach them how to scowl." And so we said, okay. So I had kids all night long coming up saying, "Can you teach me how to scowl?" So I'd do the "Arr!" and teach them how to do the funny face and the arm and everything. And it was so much fun seeing these kids so excited. They had cotton candy there. They had all kinds of food, again, swimming pools, stuff on the big screen, the movie screen they had up there. It's just a lot of fun seeing these kids, all these kids smiling so much, watching the parents smiling as well. And so we were there, and we talked a little reality TV, Big Brother with some of the folks that were there that are fans and all that. But a lot of time is just spent hanging around and interacting with all of these kids, anywhere from 2 or 3 years old all the way up to teenagers and everything. The 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, they liked learning how to scowl and all that. I had to encourage some of the older teens a little bit to scowl with me. They were laughing bad as well though by the end of the thing. So yeah, it was so much fun. So anyway, we did that Friday night, and then Saturday night was the decades party. Everyone dress up as your favorite decade. Well, I'm the only person in my season of Big Brother who was even alive during the 70s. So I figured I had to represent. So yeah, I got my sequin shirt, not original from back then. I've grown a little since then, as you can imagine. But I got me in my sparkle shirt. I told people, said, yeah, I'm just gonna hang from the ceiling, spin around, and we'll put a little disco in this party. So much fun. And I was pretty shiny. I wasn't the glitteriest person there, though. There were some incredible costumes. Nicole and Brian dressed up as steampunk. If you go out and look at her site, some of y'all may be wondering, I haven't posted a lot of pictures from the event yet. I'm going to do a photo dump. I had the show tonight and all that, but as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to just photo dump all the pictures I took and all the different people I talked to. And so be watching for that as well. But yeah, Nicole and Brian were dressed as steampunk. We had great Gatsby people from the 20s and the 30s, and lots of hippies. And we just had we had Wendell Holland and Bryce Azalea were dressed up as Run DMC with was it Adidas or Nike? I should know that. I think it's got to be Adidas. The red Adidas and the bucket hats. They were so spot on. It was incredible. So we had fun doing that. And yeah, I was a disco king at the event. Everyone noticed who I was, right? Even amongst all of these incredible celebrities, they maybe didn't know who I was, but they knew the shirt. We had a blast. It was incredible. All right, let's see. REM saying Cliff was Jack Sparrow, Brian was Will Turner, and Nicole was Elizabeth Swan. Yeah, pretty much. I'll take that. Let those two kids go off and have their adventures, and I'm just here to live life on the high seas, a little bit of rum here and there, matey, and just always out for the adventure. I'd try to do a Jack Sparrow impersonation, but I think I'd gum it up so bad. I'll leave that to Johnny Depp. No one does Jack Sparrow like Johnny Depp does, but I think if I'd been born in the 1700s or so, or early 1800s, I could have been a pirate. I would have been a swashbuckler on the high seas. That seems like something I'd enjoy doing until they made me walk the plank or something. But hey, I already hang with gators and all of that. So Peter Pan, Captain Hook, I'd be a Captain Hook kind of pirate, I think. All right, on to the next one. Desiree Watts saying, can you say hi to all BB3 cast members? 20 years ago, been at my job 32 years. Just want to be in the over and through the years club. Sorry about that. Big Brother 3. I'm trying to think if there were any Big Brother 3 players at the event. I will say the earliest Big Brother, I don't think there was anyone from Big Brother 1. The earliest player that was there was Bunky. Do y'all remember Bunky? Some of you do, the hardcore fans. Some of you may not. I think Bunky was season 2, right? If he was season 3, correct me. But Bunky was there. Bunky, I saw him last time. I've met Bunky a few times. I met him right after our show finished up. He was at our after party. The most incredible, the most friendly guy. And so we hung around a little bit. Listening to this guy's hilarious. Listening to some of his stories, he just some of them related to the early Big Brother and how things were different back then compared to now. I thought they lived in an actual house as opposed to the soundstage. But he said no, they already had a house when they were there, or a soundstage as well when they were there. But yeah, listening to him talk about some of the competitions they did, which weren't really as fancy as some of the stuff we do. Certainly, they didn't have all the twists and everything built in like they do now. So it very much was a different game. But he did well, and so yeah, it was fun hanging with Bunky a little bit. We did one thing that was incredibly cool. We went to a place called Discovery Cove on Friday, and yeah, and REM saying, "How was Discovery Cove?" It was incredible. It's the first time I've ever been there. For those of you who don't know, Discovery Cove, I think it's owned by SeaWorld, but it's just a big. It's kind of picture if you've been to Disney World or any water park. It's a little bit like a water park, uh, with a lot of wildlife, fish and stuff thrown in there instead. And they take away the crazy rides, and it's just the big open bays and all that. You get there, and there's a big open reef that you get snorkels, and you can swim around. And there's manta rays everywhere, and all kinds of fish that you can see from underwater with your snorkels, or you can actually touch most of them, which is cool. There's a huge lazy river that goes around the whole place. There's an aviary, and you walk in, and the birds they'll come right up on your arm and eat, which Nicole did not want to do. She can't stand birds, so she avoided that part. But the most cool part of the whole thing was you can either, I think, swim with sharks. I don't know quite how they handle that. Maybe they've got some glass separating you. You can wear some kind of diving bell where you can walk at the very bottom of the water and see all kinds of fish. Or you can do what I did and hang out with the dolphins. Yeah, I didn't see Flipper, but I did see Capricorn, I saw Lester, and I saw Titan. Those were the 3 dolphins that I got to interact with. So incredibly cool. Oh my gosh, it was great. The 3 Big Brother people, they just had us all split up, but the 3 of us that were in that one was Nicole from this past season of Big Brother, Bunky, and myself. And we got to we learned all about the dolphins. They showed. I didn't realize dolphins, the noise they make, they don't have vocal cords. None of it comes out of their mouths. It's all from the blowhole. And they demonstrated that each dolphin has a slightly different sound that's like their version of their name. They think that the mama dolphin gives them their names when they're first born, slightly different noises for each of them, and they have it for their entire life. Who knew that, right? I learned that dolphins are born tail first. We heard all kinds of stuff about dolphin biology, and we got to not ride, but I got to hang on to the dorsal fin and wrap my arm around the dolphin, and it pulled me, I don't know, 20 or 30 feet across the water. I got to hug it and have it lean up and give me a kiss. I'm going to post some of those pictures here in a little bit. So much fun dealing with these dolphins. I've never been that close to them ever in my life. Such an incredible experience. I just had a blast. So we did all that. Had to put on a wetsuit because the water's cold. I think they said 72 degrees. So the water's a little cold for us. Perfect for the fish. So I had a little from my knee to my neck kind of wetsuit that I was wearing. I've done scuba diving before in the Florida Keys and elsewhere. So I'm kind of used to wetsuits and snorkels and all that, but not hanging around the dolphins like that. So much fun. We had an absolute blast doing that. They had all kinds of drinks and stuff you could do there. It's like being on a tropical paradise. I'm gonna do a little story for Discovery Cove, I think, somewhere down the road, because it's something I've never done before. I'll say this. It was, we were guests and we got to go in there and everything. Price wise, you've got to make a full day of it. And for the price you pay, show up early and stay late. But there's so much to do there. It was really cool. I just enjoyed it. That was an unexpected part. And it was nice to kind of get away. And while we were there, we weren't necessarily talking reality TV and everything. We were all just there having fun. Now, I will talking about some people that I met that I was excited to meet. while we were there, I spent a little time talking to Brendan, and then later I got to talk to Rachel as well. But initially, I was talking to Brendan. They had their, I think their daughter was there. I don't remember if both their kids were there. But anyway, I talked to Brendan just about life in general and his experience on Big Brother and all. That's such an incredibly nice couple. I mean, Rachel played a lot different game than I did in the house, but she's done so much between then and now, and just great people. I so enjoyed talking to them as well. Sorry, guys. All right, Rob Gigner. Hey, Cliff, I met you at the event this weekend. I remember you, Rob, and I mentioned your name already. Yeah, Rob and I sat there a couple of times, the last couple of evenings, talking Big Brother and on reality TV and all that. Rob, I'm so happy you were there. It's so nice to be able to put a name to the face. And I'm sitting there right now. I'm looking at your comments, and I actually see your face there, but it's in tiny little. It's so hard to see. So yeah, no, it was so cool. I mean, it was cool meeting everyone, right? Fans and reality people and everything. All of that was cool. But meeting people that we actually are out here Monday nights with doing our thing, that just made it a little bit more special. Rob, you and Zach, all just lots of fun. Frankie as well. I need some of those drinks like they had at Discovery Cove. That would settle me right on down. Rob, it was great talking to you. I had so many people, and it's always cool when you talk. Because here's the other thing we did. We also had a huge meet and greet on Saturday where they broke it up into like old school Survivor, new school Survivor. WWE had a section. We had a Big Brother section where it's pretty much just us. I think there may have been some challenge folks there. Yeah, because Johnny Bananas was there as well. But everyone got to come through, had a little autograph book, signed autographs. That wasn't just signing autographs. We got to spend a little time talking to everyone about our different shows, experiences, posing for pictures and all that. There were a lot of people. I was told there are about 40 people more this year than last year. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but 40 extra people coming through a line, an extra minute or so per person. And it was a lot of folks that were there. And I was so excited. I'd look out and I'd see this line going all the way out and down the stairs. Now, for those of y'all who were in line, probably not so exciting. But for those of us who were there, it was just so cool. With so many people with so many different ideas. And there were a lot of people, Big Brothers, their big show. But there were other people who were like, no, I've really always been into Survivor, but my wife got me hooked on Big Brother, and they haven't seen the past seasons. And others knew every tiny little detail about every episode that's ever premiered. So having people ask me questions about my season or what they liked or what they didn't like, it was fun. And the fact Nicole and I were sitting right next to each other. In fact, it was from kind of, who was he? It was myself and Nicole and Memphis. Garrett was there. And then Danielle Reyes. I talked to Danielle. She is so nice. Fantastic. Danielle, and then David, and then Bunky was there. And then going on around Porsche. Portia was there along with Jeff and Brendan and Rachel. Brendan and Rachel from Big Brother 13. It just went around and around. And then we had all of Big Brother, not all of them, but a lot of Big Brother 23 was there. I said hello to Ozza again, who's always so incredibly nice. And it was just fun getting to talk to so many hardcore fans and brand new fans. Now, it was a little rough on the voice. And here's the thing. You take all these people, you cast them on reality TV because they like to talk so much. Then you put them in a little tiny room and say, all right, you got to process 400 something people through here as well in the next 2 hours or so. That makes it incredibly tough because we ended up all trying to talk over each other, talking a little louder. And again, once I start talking to someone, it's tough for me to stop. So by the time we got done with that, we had our Saturday night party, the Decades party. My voice was pretty much gone. And there's a few other people. Cindy from Big Brother Canada. For those of you who watch Big Brother Canada, Cindy was there. Cindy with an S. By the end of the night, she couldn't talk at all. She was talking to people with her phone. She was just entering the stuff, holding it up so they could read it. Her voice was completely shot. Nicole's was shot. We all paid the price, but what a price to pay. It was well worth it. All right, what else do we have on here? Terry Atler Jr. saying, my sister's coming home this Wednesday for Christmas break. Well, congratulations. That's what Christmas is all about. Family, friends, neighbors, people getting to come together and celebrate the holidays. Yeah, I know it's kind of nice to have Santa show up and things like that. And it's kind of nice to have the fancy Christmas feast. And obviously there's a reason behind Christmas, from a religious standpoint and all that. But I really think just the chance to spend time with family is one of the biggest parts ever. I talked to Brian while we were at the airport, and we were talking a little bit about just the stress of being in the show and what it was like coming out. I'm in there. There's only 3 other people in the house with me. Suddenly, after the season's over, I'm just swarmed by all these, producers and press people and all that at the after party. It's a little bit overwhelming. And I told Brian, really for the next couple of months, it was almost like PTSD. It was a little bit stressful, just feeling stressed out, paranoid about everything in life just because of being in the house. And it really wasn't until the Christmas holidays came up and I started having all my family around me. I had my wife with me. My kids were home from, well, I guess they were out of school by then, but I had the kids in because, they were working, doing their jobs, having everyone in, spending extra time and seeing extended family. Once I was surrounded by all my loved ones and had more time to spend with them, that's when some of the stress and the after effects of Big Brother started wearing off. And I was able to adjust more fully. So yeah, congratulations on getting her home. That's great. Cause now you got, what was that, the 14th or so of December? You got a couple of weeks together. That is great news. I hope all of y'all have the chance with family and friends. And if not in person, isn't it fantastic? We got Zoom and FaceTime and everything else. So make sure you get the chance to spend a little time with the family this season. All right. Keith Franken is saying, hi, Keith. How are you doing, my friend? I hadn't seen you up there in the initial comments. So welcome aboard for this particular episode as well. Wow, 7:49. All right. Let me see what else. I know there's things I'm missing from this event that I wanted to talk about. Seeing David and Nicole and everything was great. Discovery Cove, that pirate party. I just have so much fun dressing up and doing that kind of stuff. Although I will say this, Orlando can be a little humid, right? It's just like Houston, down along the coast, a little, well, I guess they are on the coast, but they're still, it's Florida. Little bit of humidity. I learned quickly, cotton candy in Florida is not the perfect combination. I started off with I had a big thing of cotton candy. I was coming up to kids and saying, what kind of pirate am I? Oh, I'm Pink Beard, with a pink cotton candy. It worked out great until all the moisture started attaching to that thing. By the time I got done, my hands were like little glue traps. I had to go in and it didn't matter how many times I washed my hands. I still kept discovering new sticky from that cotton candy. And it kind of made me remember why there was a point where I stopped eating as much cotton candy as a kid, because at some point the stickiness overwhelmed the pure sugar delights of cotton candy. But we had fun doing that. I'm trying to think what other meet and greet people I saw that were a lot of fun. I met Troyzan. Do y'all remember Troyzan from Survivor? I don't even know how he's mid-season, right? He's certainly not current, but he wasn't season 1 or 2. I met Troyzan. He was such an incredible guy. I had a blast hanging out with him, talking a little bit. Shuby and Jack from the Circle were both there and had fun talking to them. A couple little things. I think I can say that. I know I can say it because they're talking to other people. Hannah Chada's all excited. She's getting ready to go to medical school. So congrats to her. There's all these people celebrating so much. She has that. Jack is finishing up school and maybe doing a little acting and all that. So it was fun hearing stories from people that weren't even necessarily related to their life inside whatever game they were playing, but just in general. All right. I was right. Let's talk about season 41 and 42 of Survivor. Someone had asked earlier, and I forget who it was that asked, said, and so it said, no Xavier. Xavier was there last season from Big Brother 23, not this year. They're so busy. I asked Chada about this. She said, yeah, there's a lot of folks with a lot of things going on for their particular season. Taylor Hale also wasn't there. Joseph was there, so I thought maybe she'd be there, but it wasn't to be. But I did meet a lot of the Survivor people. Someone had asked earlier, said, was anyone from the current season there? No, I don't think that CBS will let them come to an event like this until the season is wrapped. And I don't know if it's because they're afraid they may spoil it by throwing out a spoiler, or they just want to hold the press within CBS until after. I don't know, but they're not allowed to be there. So we didn't have any of the current Survivor season members there, but we had 41 and we had 42. Such incredible people. Mike, do you remember Mike, the fireman from Hoboken, I guess? And I was cheering for him because he was kind of the older guy in his season. He was there the entire time, and we got a chance to talk a little bit. Just a great guy. And two of my favorites, well, three of my favorites, Omar, Nasir, and Deshaun were all there. I talked to each of them, and I told them, I said, oh, man, I was cheering for y'all so much. I so much wanted you to do well. Well, they probably hear that from everyone. No one comes up and says, I didn't think you were going to do squat. You really surprised me at how well you played the game. No one's going to say that. Everyone's going to say how much they loved watching them play. But I told all three of them, I said, look, I know everyone tells you that, but I told Mike the same thing. I said, but let me show you a little something. And I've got on my phone, y'all know I've covered those shows, the last two seasons of Survivor, and I had a cast preview. So I pulled out my my notes from a cast preview, and I said, here you go. You can read what I wrote about each of y'all as you do a thing. Oh, Eric Abraham's another one. I said, you can read what I said about you and know that I really was cheering from the start. And so they read it and kind of laughed because I hope they realized that, yeah, I really was on board from the very beginning. Nasir, I had nothing but compliments for that guy when I saw his preview. So I showed that to him. The people I wasn't cheering for, not that I wasn't cheering for, there are a few people on each season that I thought would not do well. I didn't show my preview notes to them. I just said hello. It's very nice to meet him and all that. But yeah, Amar, Nasir, Deshaun, Eric Abrams as well. I told Eric, I said, yeah, I know you went home a little bit early, but, and I'd mentioned in my comments, I almost felt like he was too smart for some of the other people on the island. And that probably was going to be a negative that could potentially cost him, because he was just going to be so much more than some of the other folks in there. So even him who went home early, I was still positive about it. Y'all know me. I always try to stay positive in all my conversations. But yeah, it was so cool meeting all of them as well. All right, guys, it is 7:55, and as you can tell, this talking is making the cough a little bit worse as well. So with that, I think we're going to go ahead and shut it down. I appreciate it. I love you guys so much. It's so fun meeting some of y'all at this event, at the event, or at the random airports around the world, or at least around the United States. I don't know. I got some international folks that watch the show, but no, it's so fun meeting y'all in person, getting some one-on-one time. I look forward to doing that with more of y'all on down the road. But until then, we always have Monday evenings as well. So I do appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a fantastic week. As I said before, if you get a chance, go out, subscribe to my channel. It's always appreciated, but certainly a thumbs up is appreciated as well. Another thing, a couple of mentions, Survivor and the challenge. We're getting right down to the very end. Here's the thing, and I know I got to shut down, but here's the thing. I got in so late Wednesday night from my trip to Ohio, and I had to leave so early coming back on Thursday for the Hearts Reality. I have not watched the challenge or Survivor yet, those episodes. I know the results. You can't go to an event with a bunch of reality TV people and not learn. So I know what happened, but I haven't seen the actual step-by-steps. And especially Survivor, I'm looking forward to it based on what I heard. So as I watch those, I owe y'all recaps for both, and I'll get those done, put out there. And then come Wednesday night, we're going to do it all over again. We'll have recaps for that as well. So turn on your notifications, because there should be all kinds of videos dropping between now and 72 hours from now or so. Guys, y'all have a fantastic Monday. Love all of y'all. SKD143. I love my wife, love my kids, love reality TV fans, and especially those of y'all who share Monday nights with me. If y'all got any special questions or anything for any of these episodes, reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter. DM me. Send me your questions, and I'll try to write them down so I don't forget them come next Monday. But until then, guys, Have a fantastic week. I will see y'all next Monday, if not before. Cheers, my friends. Bye.